everybody, welcome to yoga class. We are going to start in a kind of spread position, I guess. A squat is what we're going to head into. So let's take the toes turning out toward the corners, heels about on the outsides of the shoulders so that you have plenty of room to bend the knees and get into a deeper squat. We're going to start right away with just some big deep breaths in. So reach up. And then we're just going to take those arms right back down by your sides, okay? Let's think about spreading out the fingers nice and wide as you reach up. No movement yet through the legs, just noticing your breath and pairing it with your movement. So today's practice is going to be a traditional Ashtanga, is what we call it, yoga practice with vinyasa flows. So I know that's a lot of terminology, but just bear with me. You will catch on pretty quickly, and if not, you can always go back and watch it. So let's move into now, as you breathe in, you're going to reach up and look up at the hands. Then as you exhale, let's just come down and bring the elbows into the sides with the fingers still out wide. So reach, everything's kind of spreading, like you're spreading from your center line out. And then see if you can get a little bit lower each time you go into your squat. So big deep breath in as you reach up. Long, slow exhale as you come down. Excellent. So all you're going to need today is a space for like a mat, a cleaned out area rather, for you to have plenty of movement from front to back and side to side. If you need a wall for balance, we will do a little balance portion in the middle. You can always walk over to a wall or a chair. Let's get one more of these little sunflowers here, and then we're going to switch to moonflowers. So reach up, inhale. On your exhale, you still bend the knees a little, but we're going to hinge at the waist and round forward. So moonflowers goes out and up, and then over and down as you exhale. Good job. Keep going here. So you might even notice a little balance necessary. If you need to turn your toes forward to help you with that forward motion, that's perfectly fine. If you guys hear tapping, it's just my little doggy. She's walking around in the room with us here. Good, and one more of those. Big deep breath in, reach up. Exhale, bowing forward for moonflowers. And then as you come to standing, we'll just kind of roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Bring the feet together. So we're going to have the feet, I'm going to turn sideways so you can see here. Feet about shoulder width apart and hands into our mountain pose. And our hands are down by our sides with our shoulders nice and away from the ears, relaxed. And then we're going to focus on our breath for just a moment here. So as you breathe in, just let your eyes kind of fall down toward the floor. As you're looking down, we're focusing on what's going on inside the body. So we're trying not to focus on anything else going around, maybe any noises that you might hear. Acknowledge those, and then just kind of bump it away so that you can focus on exactly how you're feeling. So hopefully you have a mixture of maybe negative and positive, or maybe challenging or not so challenging things going on in your body. Just notice those different things. Maybe it's a digestion thing you want to pay particular attention to. Maybe it's some kind of mental clarity or some kind of thought that keeps coming into your mind, or really just anything that you want to take a focus on here. And as you breathe in, just focus on that area of the body. Listen to it for a moment. And then on your next breath in, I want you to start thinking about sort of an intention or something that you can really focus on for your practice today. So maybe something you notice going on in your body that you want to really pay close attention to, that can be an intention. So if digestion is one of those things, then you're going to pay close attention to how your body feels through your digestive system. If it was something mental, like something you've been dealing with, a problem or an issue, you're going to focus on that. So just set an intention. I would encourage you to make it really simple, just maybe one word, maybe one phrase, and that is what you're going to use this practice to focus on. And I love that about yoga, that it combines the physical and the mental, and actually the spiritual too, because we're all three in our beings. So you can focus on any one of those things that you want to, and do with it what you want during this practice. So I encourage you to do that. And just to solidify that, let's sweep it up. Take a big breath in, and this is sort of your anchor point here. Press the palms together. Bring it through heart center. We'll come back to this position quite a bit through our practice, so just be ready for that. On our next breath in, we're going to go ahead and move through some of our postures. So inhale, reach up. As you exhale, we're going to bow or hinge at the waist. Go forward into our swan dive. Kind of send your hips back, and then round over so that belly is touching the thighs. You've got a deep bend through the knees, and we're letting the head just sort of dangle here. Then we're going to inhale and halfway lift. This time we're going to slide the fingertips up to the knees, flatten out the spine, kind of stick your rear end back, and hold the belly in tight, keeping yourself warm. Exhale, collapse back down. Hands to the mat, and we're coming to a plank position. So once you get into plank position, we want to hold here, just sort of making sure you've got a nice tight core, that you're lifting up through the spine and not sagging through the low back. Your heels are far back, and you're just situated in a nice strong position for your plank. And then once we feel good about that, the distance between our hands and feet, we're going to shoot the hips up back into downward dog. So meet me in our downward dog posture. I'm going to press one heel in, then the other. Let's walk this dog out. That feels really nice. The hips can go side to side. Notice any tightness that you feel here, maybe through the hamstrings, maybe through the shoulders or the side body, just anywhere. Just take note of it. We're not doing anything about that just yet, just so that you know what's going on. You're becoming aware of your body, how you feel. And when you're ready, we're just going to press both of these heels into the floor. Feet are about hip distance apart, hands about shoulder width apart, fingertips wide. Now we want to sink the chest toward the thighs. So you're kind of pushing away with the hands, keeping the elbows straight. Take a big deep breath. Exhale, sink into it a little more, and we're getting ready to move on. So on your next breath in, we're going to come back to that plank position and keep going way far forward, way up on the tippy toes. Lower yourself down with elbows in close. This is our chaturanga. And then you have a couple options here. We can do baby cobra, which is just lifting the chest up off the ground. Or you can push yourself up into upward dog, where your thighs and knees are also off the ground. And then we'll go right from here back into our downward dog. Let's do that one more time. Just make a little flow with the breath. So inhale, coming to plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale, baby cobra or upward dog. Exhale, lower. Back to downward dog. Let's take both feet. We're just going to walk forward. You can bend the knees as much as you need to. Till you're back in that forward fold. Let's bring toes together. Heels slightly apart, hanging over into that forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, collapse. Inhale, reverse your swan dive. Take it out and up slowly. Exhale through heart center. Remember your intentions. This is your anchor point. Starting over. Inhale and sweep up. Swan dive, lead with the chest. Big movement here, all the way into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, collapse. Hands to the mat. Step back to plank. And then downward dog. Inhale, coming forward. We're just going to start flowing here. So try to get your rhythm down with your breath. Upward dog. Back to downward dog. And this time we're going to take this right leg into the air, reach it up. Keep the hips squared toward the ground. Go way up on that left toe, knee to chest. Step it through. So now we're in sort of a lunge here. Not sort of, we're in a full lunge here. Up on the fingertips, sink that left hip toward the ground. Just feel that nice stretch through the hip flexor. Take a breath in. Then we're going to step forward with the left leg, bringing toes together, heels slightly apart, and bending over into our forward fold. You might feel the hamstrings loosening a little, so you can straighten the knees if you want to. But let's keep the head and shoulders really drooping forward and down toward the ground. Top of the head toward the floor. Inhale, halfway lift. Maybe you don't have to slide up as far now. Maybe you can be more like on the shins. Exhale, collapse. Reverse your swan dive. Take it out and up. Big deep breath in. Reach up through heart center. We're going to add something here. This is a chair pose. Not many people love this pose. If you do, good for you. Arms sweep up. Arms by your ears. And you're going to keep your spine nice and tall and long as you shoot the hips back. Kind of just a little bit of rounding through the tailbone. Not like a big cat pose, but you're going to keep that tailbone in so that your core stays nice and tight. Take a big deep breath in. Exhale, collapse. Step back for plank position. And then downward dog when you're ready. Inhale through our little vinyasa here. Sun salutation, baby cobra. If you need a break from the downward dogs, you're coming to child's pose. Let's flow through it again. So I'm going to show a modified version if you need it. On the knees, you can still lower for your chaturanga. You can still squeeze and lift baby cobra. Lower. Back to child's pose. Once you finish one more of those, we're going to meet in downward dog. Take the left leg into the air, reach it up. Hips are squared way up on the toes. Step forward into your lunge. Now you want your toes in front of the fingertips when you step into that lunge. So if you get to here and your foot stops, wiggle it forward until you get it out in front of those fingertips, okay? Sink down, let that right hip sink toward the floor. If you need to modify here, knee goes on the ground. We're stretching that hip flexor. Take a breath and try to relax those tight areas that you feel. We're going to step forward here, so lift, step, toes together, heels apart. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, collapse. Inhale, reverse your swan dive, take it out and up. Exhale through, heart center, chair pose again. So take it up and around, shoot those hips back. Hold, squeeze the belly in tight. Breathe. Collapse into your forward fold. Step back to plank. Downward dog. And through our vinyasa, inhale forward. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Holding in down dog or child's pose. Let's take a breath here. Sink into this posture. Get your breath pattern back. Feels nice. All right, looking forward, we're going to walk both feet forward or really more toward kind of the center of your mat. Once you get about to center, just going to hang over in a forward fold. So feet are about hip distance apart. Let's grab opposite elbows and we're just going to hang here and kind of sway side to side. Let some blood flow into the head. If you have allergies seasonally like I do, then this might feel like a lot of pressure. But like I've said before, that is actually good for you and you'll feel some release in that sinus cavity when you stand up here in a minute. Relax the shoulders. Relax as much as you can. Let's uncross those arms. Let the hands drape toward the floor. And crisscross other arms. So we're grabbing elbows. The forearm goes right on top of the head there and we're just collapsing toward the ground. We'll release those hands again. Inhale and halfway lift. Exhale, collapse. And this time we're going to roll up slowly. So press through the whole foot. Start at the hips and you're just going to roll up. Let the arms dangle forward. Maybe even shake them around. Let the head stay down. And we're rolling up as slow as we possibly can. The last one to the top wins. And then we'll take the shoulders up, back, down, and the head comes up. Very nice. All right, preparing for our standing balance today, we're doing a tree pose. So this is just a traditional, like I said, Ashtanga. This is in the level 1 series, so if you ever look up Ashtanga, this whole thing that we've been doing is sun salutation A and B, and then we do the balance portion too, and then there's some floor portions that we won't be doing today, but just so you know, those levels are fantastic for beginners if you're getting into yoga. So, and even if you're not, it's just something great to do. So what we'll do for our tree pose is choose a leg to balance on. I usually start with my left, so I'm going to switch it up today and start with my right. I'm going to spread the toes out, so every toe gets spread out as wide as possible, and then you dig them back in. So you might even kind of lean forward. Feel your balance shift to that front part of your leg. Lean back and feel your balance shift to the back part, and then find something right in the middle where you're using your entire foot. And this is going to help you with balance going forward, okay? So for tree pose, we just turn the left leg or right leg, whichever you're not standing on, out to the side, Point those toes toward the floor. And you're just going to slide that foot up as far as you want to. So it might be at your calf. It might be toes still touching the floor. I discourage you from bending over and grabbing it just because that gets you off balance. But if you have great balance and you know you're fine with that, just grab that foot, bring it up as tall as you want to. Also, if you're holding onto a wall, you can try that too. But the key here is not to be on the knee because we're pressing the thigh or the shin into the foot. So you're creating that really tight bond. And there's not one that's pushing harder into the other, okay? It's equal. So see if you can find that perfect little sweet spot where you're equally pushing on each side. Now from the side, your knee is going to be turned out to the side. So I'm going to turn sideways if you're looking. You can see that my knee is almost completely out to the side of my body, not in front. Okay, that's also going to help you with balance. It just spreads you out a little bit more. So once you get there, hopefully you're already there, I've been talking a lot. We're going to take the arms out to the sides. Now floating the hands up, you can stop anywhere that you want to that feels good for you. So if out to the side, palms facing up is great for you, then definitely do that. You want to take your gaze up in order to lift through the spine. It kind of gives you that feeling of floating. And if the hands want to float up more and more and more, take them as tall as you want to. Even in a full tree pose position, you can be fingertips and palms together. You could be hands at heart center, or you could be in an upside down prayer position. Completely up to you. So wherever you are today, I just want you to hold in that position. I want you to breathe. Enjoy it. If you're not enjoying it, then find a way to make yourself enjoy balance. Bringing balance into life sometimes is not easy. So we can recognize that too. Take a big breath here. Get ready to switch legs. We're going to slide our bent knee down, shake our other one out, and then we'll replace on the other side, so we're going to go right into it. Toes spread out wide, shifting your weight forward and backward until you find that sweet spot. Turn the foot out. I'm going to talk much faster through this so we have a little more time to balance. Find your balancing spot. So if your balancing spot is down at the shin, you're pressing in with the bottom of the foot, in with the shin, create that bond. Knee out to the side, hands start to float. If you find that, okay, I'm really good on this side, the other side was terrible, then find that spot on this side that challenges you a little bit more if you want to. Maybe today your intention was to challenge yourself. Definitely this can be a challenge, so create that challenge. If today was meant for you to be a relaxation day where you don't want to challenge yourself at all, mentally you're drained, then just let this be a nice open position for you that's easy and simple. Maybe find a wall. Go to that place where you feel total peace and comfort, okay? If you want more challenge, you can close your eyes. I found that one completely difficult for me, so in order to not fall all over the place, I won't be doing that with you guys today, but it's definitely a great challenge for you. If you wobble and have to step out of it, just get right back into it. Go right back to where you were. Try again. Take a big deep breath. Relax the shoulders. We're going to breathe through 2 more cycles of breath here. As you come out of that last exhale, we will slowly slide the leg down and shake out our standing leg. Nice work, everybody. All right, we're coming down onto the floor, but we're gonna do one little twist before we lay completely down for Shavasana. So as you get down onto the ground, both legs straight out in our staff pose, sitting nice and tall. Let's hug a knee into the chest. It doesn't matter which one. We're just gonna take one knee into the chest, hug it in close, and create about a hand's width space between the thigh and the foot. Bringing that foot as close as you can. Now we're going to grab with the opposite arm. So I have my right knee up. I'm going to take my left arm around that knee and twist around to the back. And we're just kind of looking back here, trying to get that hand behind you as close to your tailbone as possible. So as you twist, take a big deep breath. Maybe you get a little more space there. You feel like you can. Twist a little more. Walk that hand in a little closer to your tailbone. If you feel like you've gotten a lot of twisting and maybe you're already flexible in this way, then just take that knee, elbow on the outside of the knee. We're not taking the gaze completely backward though. We're keeping our gaze in line with our spine. So sitting up nice and tall. Great, then we'll untwist, come back to center. Take that leg out straight and pull the other one in. About a hand's width again in between. Pull the leg up as close as you can. This is going to intensify your stretch the closer you get that knee to your chest. So once you feel like you've gotten a good distance for you, you might play around with that too. Just grab with the opposite arm. So see, if my knee were out here, it wouldn't be as intense of a stretch or twist for me. So I'm bringing it in as close as I can. And I'm going to twist around, take that other hand to my low back, tailbone. See if I can get my elbow on the outside of my knee. That's not necessary, but you can. And then twist around. See how it feels through maybe your digestion, your gut health, your core. If you can relax that core a little bit and use the shoulders, kind of bonus points for you there. And then we'll untwist back to center. Very nice. Coming all the way onto your back now. We're going to end with a little bit of relaxation, deep breathing. And you can get into whatever posture you want to here. Some options are goddess pose with the bottoms of the feet together. Hands resting on the belly, maybe one on the heart and one on the belly so you can feel your breath and then your heartbeat at the same time. Maybe you just want to be in corpse pose with legs out and arms out so that your palms are facing up. This is a great one too, just for relaxation. One other option is legs at the wall, and that's where I would just put my legs straight at the wall and get as close to the wall as I possibly could, kind of sitting in sort of an L shape like this. So, totally up to you how you want to lay here, but we are going to take a minute and just clear out any gunk that is left in the body. And it's amazing how sometimes when you just focus on what's going on in the body, you can work through some of that stuff mentally. So let's practice that now. And we're going to start with, I'm just going to guide you through some breathing. So I just want you to think about, as you take a deep breath in, just notice how your breath is coming, and maybe start counting in like a 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi kind of rhythm. Notice how many Mississippis it takes you, or however you're counting. And then on your exhale, you're doing the same thing, just noticing at first. How long does it take you to get all the air out of your lungs? Now, once you have that count, and maybe it's like 4 counts for your inhale, 5 counts for your exhale, we're going to try to lengthen both of those. So try to slow it down. You're still in control of your breath. You may not be taking in as much air all at once. Maybe you can slow down the intake. And then slow down the exhale. You're still in control. Not dumping air all at once, but just evenly letting it go. We'll practice that for a few breaths. Breathing in and out through the nose. And if you feel like you can relax just a little bit deeper, let's sink into the ground and feel every aspect of the underneath side of your body on the ground. So everywhere you're touching the floor, just take a little notice there and see how it feels. Does it feel good to be supported? Are there any imbalances in the body here that you can take note of? From the shoulder blades, upper back, your tailbone, hips, maybe the thighs, backs of the thighs, calves, and heels. And then on your next series of breath, each time we exhale, let's focus on a different part of the body. So we're going to start with the head. So big deep breath in. When you exhale, just relax every muscle in your face, between your eyes, your jaw, your cheeks, even your ears and the back of the head. Next exhale, we're going down to the neck and the shoulders, relaxing all of those muscles. All the way down the front and the back side of our arms to the elbows, the forearms, the wrists, and all the fingertips. Total relaxation through the arms. Next, we're going to the back and the upper shoulder blades and the spine. Sink into the ground a little bit more. Let your spine just totally relax. Wrapping around the side body to your chest, abdominal wall, all of that relaxed. Rising and falling with your breath. And now to the hip bones, the hip joints, wrapping around to your backside, the glutes. All of those muscles relaxed, not trying to hold yourself up off the floor by squeezing. Going down the back sides of the legs and the hamstrings, down into the knee joint. The tops of the thighs, all the way to the knee joint, totally relaxed there. From that relaxed knee joint down the front side of your shin and to the back side where your calves are, completely relaxed there. And then to the ankles, to the heels, to the arch of the foot, all the way down into your toes. Taking another deep breath here. Exhale and relax. Now anything that's left over, we physically relax. Let's go back into the mental, the spiritual, the things we can't see. I just want you to imagine that that's kind of all balled up in the center, and maybe you have like a little black ball that just kind of grows and grows as you add different things from your mind and your spirit that are just blocking you from being a happy, peaceful person. So all of those things in this little black ball, maybe it's growing into a bigger black ball as you add things like anxiety or stress. Maybe there are people that embody that for you. Maybe there are situations you can add to this black ball. I just want you to kind of feel it in the pit of your stomach, just right in the middle. And as that ball grows, we recognize that those things exist in our life, but what we're going to do is just kind of imagine with this imaginary ball that all of a sudden with our next big deep breath and we take that nice long exhale, we're just going to let that ball break and crack, and it starts to form cracks in it. And then all of a sudden it bursts. And as it bursts, those pieces, almost like shrapnel, just go out through the fingertips, through the feet, through the tops of the head, and every part of your body. We're just releasing all of those negative emotions and negative scenarios and people, and just letting it all go, going away from your body. And so what's left there is a beautiful light right in the middle of your center mass. Picture that light on the inside. And let that warmth from that light just fill up every crevice of your body. On your next breath in, let's just breathe in that warmth. We have graciousness, we have trust, we have health, we have joy and peace. We're breathing all of those things in, allowing those things to take up real estate in your body so that all of the negative things are gone and we replace it with something much more helpful. you go throughout the rest of your day and your week, I want you guys to remember what that light feels like in the center of you. Press your heels into the floor. Let's press our fingertips into the ground, solidifying how you feel right now. Just feel what you feel. Recognize it. Maybe give it a name. Maybe give it a color. Now, on our next deep breath in, I want you just to start to feel again the ground beneath you. Coming back into the present time and where you are. Your space and everything you're taking up space from and for. Let's wiggle the toes, wiggle the fingers. Let's even bend the elbows. Slowly let your eyes flutter open. And then we'll bend the knees and draw the feet. If you are on the wall or anywhere else, just put your feet flat on the ground or just bend the knees and hug them into your chest. A little rocking motion side to side. And when you're ready, we will roll onto one side, kind of hang out there for a moment. And then when you're ready, we will push up to a seated position, comfortable cross-leg position on your mat. Hands out with the palms facing up, sitting nice and tall. Relax those shoulders, just kind of breathe for a moment, see how you feel now. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Let's breathe in together. Inhale, sweep it up. Exhale to heart center. Namaste.